resigns with AEW. And, there was that blood and guts thing.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joining us always by my good friend Hollywood Frank.
HW.
You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about all the news in wrestling. What the hell happened to my background?
Shit if I know.
That's
your
better.
background.
That's better. That's better. That's better. But yeah, and you can also follow us on social media. You can link in the description, and you can also see it scrolling below you. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week, man.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, man. We had blood and guts. We had Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. Had some title changes there. And a little more setup from WWE this week for SummerSlam. And
still has some G1, right?
Oh, yeah. G1 is, I think, when is the last match for the G1? Let me see. JPW 1972 schedule. Wait a minute.
Somebody's got a collision in mind.
Yeah. Let's see, schedule. Yeah, G1 Climax does not conclude until, I believe, like August 13th, something like that, I think. I do believe, yeah. Yeah, because August 13th will be with the semifinal winners taking each other on. So yeah, there's still shit. There's still a couple weeks. Ah, crap. Here we go.
Told you.
Got a collision in my...
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
How was the week?
It was interesting. There's a lot of good stuff. It was a lot of good stuff. Some but nothing like particularly bad. I mean, except for maybe the outcome of Io Sky and Charlotte's match, which was like, could anybody have possibly predicted that?
Nothing bad. Not even Adam Cole's like dance skills.
His what skills?
Dance.
Yeah. Okay. Look. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst thing that I've seen. It wasn't even the worst thing I've seen this week. So, I mean, it was dumb, but it was, largely harmless.
I'm not complaining.
All right. Yeah. Well, do a roll call with our guest today, sir.
Yes, sir. First up, Fantasia was first. She's like, "Hi, guys. What's up, Fantasia? How you doing here?" Manel C was next. He said, "What?" He said, "Sup? What's up, buddy?"
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's
up?
Thanks for being here, bud. And Hicksville said, "Sup?" You only get one. So, what's up, Hicksville? Thanks for being here, everybody. But yeah, I mean, it was a weird week. But had some interesting stuff. Blood and Guts definitely lived up to its name. And amazingly, nobody got hurt. Like, no real injuries. It's like, imagine that. Collision. This is probably the first week. Well, you know what? We'll get into that. We'll get into all the impressions and everything of that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do our favorite little segment here, a little something we call the good, the bad, the ugly. Hey, Big Daddy Guardian Chaos. Yo, what's up, sir? Appreciate you being here. Everybody check Big Daddy out as always. Hicks Villain said team double clothesline needs to win the titles. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Absolutely not.
You're up, sir.
Yep, I'm up this week. The good. You know me, guys. It's gonna be the G1. Even though the G1 has been kind of weird this year, it is still the best tournament in professional wrestling. Some great matches coming out of there. A lot of new guys making names for themselves. So if you haven't checked out the G1, I mean, I could sit here and run through it all week, but it's got Will Ospreay in it. Come on, it's freaking awesome. That's good. Other than that, Blood and Guts, I thought was really good this year, and yeah, I know the dance off felt really, really, really out of place, but I thought the main event delivered. It was really good, and it was the aftermath of that was interesting. We'll talk about that, but that was good. The bad, more injuries. Kevin Owens, apparently, though he's off. This is an injury that happened like a week or two ago, and they basically turned it into a storyline. But he's injured. He has a broken rib. And Liv Morgan injured again. This time it's the other shoulder. Once again, they don't know how serious it is. We all know that she had an injury like 2 weeks ago. Her arm was in a sling, ended up not being too serious. Now the other shoulder's injured, and apparently this time it's way more serious. Who the hell knows, man? But a lot of people on the shelf for WWE. And then the ugly. Actually, Maudicito, you kind of took it from me, man. The ugly, the nail, the bed of nails from Blood and Guts. By the way, that thing was not fake in any way, shape, or form. They actually showed Charlie, I can't remember his last name, but he's the guy that makes all the props and stuff for AEW. They showed him making that thing. And that thing weighed like 120, 130 pounds. The thing was big and it's heavy. And Kenny Omega very narrowly escaped getting really, really hurt by that thing because it fell over and it caught the side of his arm. And you could see he yanked away from it real fast because he could feel it like starting to dig in. And but they showed Kenny Omega's back and his arm after the match, and dude, that thing could have torn him. That thing didn't need to be there.
That's the cage not enough.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like, yeah, it's not enough that like they're gonna have weapons and stuff in there. It's not enough that the cage is like bigger than normal. And I'm amazed nobody friggin' died coming off of that thing. But I'm amazed Pac didn't break his leg or something when he came off the roof of it. But yeah, that thing didn't need to be there. That's my ugly. That thing really could have hurt somebody. Like really, really, really could have hurt somebody. And again, yeah, I get it. It looks cool and it's but he doesn't need to be there, man. Come on. That's totally I have to believe that was totally Moxley's idea too. That like 110% Moxley. Okay, we need to ramp this thing up. I want a bed of nails. And but yeah, that's my GBU. Frank, what do you got?
Well, yeah. Malicito stole a little bit of my thunder too, because my good is AEW. Oh, we strike out again.
Oh, you mean WWE?
WWE.
Yep.
WWE strikes out again. Try to get Jay White. Nope.
Nope. No Jay White. No Roosh.
They got Roosh just signed with AEW again. So
yep.
Sorry, Trips. Sorry, Vinnie Mac. You lose again, which is good.
Yeah.
Just with what they did with guys like now I can't skip his name. Charlotte's husband, Andrade. And he can't speak the language. We don't want you over here. Like, you gotta learn how to speak English. Come on. Um,
That's what managers are for. That's what mouthpieces are for.
but I'm glad Roosh is still with AEW. I
Yeah.
mean, put him and Andrade together, like you mentioned, and yeah, Pillman Jr. And they'll probably they'll piss all over him. There, Hicks villain.
Yeah, that's it didn't merch, but yeah, Big Daddy said the current state of pro wrestling and increasing number of injuries all due to the unnecessary risk that guys and gals take. Someone's going to die. I pray not. Yeah, and like I said, man, especially in this era, sometimes you got to protect people from themselves.
I give that warning every week.
Yep.
Well, you also had back in the day these guys on scaffold matches like freaking New Jack and stuff like that. Like,
Night of the Skywalkers and
some of that stuff they did back then.
How frequently, though?
Yeah, it was very rare.
It was rare. You're right. It was rare, but man, yeah, they just concluded the tournament last week. We don't ever want to see another Owen Hart incident.
No.
And some of the stuff that like Darby Allin does, diving.
Well, and that's the thing. It's and that's the thing. Like Darby himself has come out and said it. He knows that he's truncating his career.
And who's that guy with the light tubes always smashing them?
What's his name? Gage.
Yeah. That's he's lucky he's still alive.
You know what though? In recent years, he has kind of toned that stuff down. Oh yeah, dude, he should be dead. Like, he legit should be dead. He's toned it down a little bit, but I mean, yeah, still, it's like some of these dudes, man, and that's the thing, man. I feel like sometimes that gets fed more than it should be. I'm not a big deathmatch wrestler. I never have been. I understand its place. But yeah, I think at some point, especially if you're the boss, if you're Tony Khan, man, some of the stuff that these guys want to do, sometimes you got to step in and be like, okay, listen, we have a vested interest in you. I mean, even just from a mercenary standpoint, we have money invested in you. You've got a big place in this company. We can't afford to let you hurt yourself to this degree.
And my bad, they're selling merch like crazy. Adam Cole, Bebe, and MJF, but you tune in to watch wrestling, not tune in to watch a dance off. Yeah. I didn't like that. I mean, you don't need that. I mean, you got these guys are over. Let them show their art in the ring, not doing Disco Inferno stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, this was like the tournament overall has been actually pretty good. The matches have been fun. And
right.
All of the Better Than You, Baby is it's a lot of fun. We know that the turn is coming, but it's still been a lot of fun to watch, dude.
Hicks villain. I bet Alex Wright could beat Daniel Garcia in a dance off.
That's a dude.
The Wonder Kid.
When he first started doing that stupid dance thing, man, that's the first thing that popped in my head. Is like, oh, look, it's Alex Wright 2.0. And it's like, okay, dude. But
I might be alone in this, but this whole thing has been a waste of the world title. He has become just it's not even a factor so far in this whole thing so far.
You know what?
It might be what they fight for after the turn, but right now it's like there's no world champ because it's not have been an issue.
I'm gonna tell you why they're doing that. It's a little bit. You're all right. It's a little bit of a filler, but this is basically what they're doing. Is I've said this before and I said it again, and I believe that this is the plan. CM Punk is gonna have his feud with Samoa Joe. He might have another feud after that with Jay White, because they're definitely positioning Jay White for a big push. That's why in all of their losses, it's always been Juice who's taken the pin. Jay hasn't taken a pin yet since joining AEW. So they are building him up. I think it's what they're doing. Like Frank and I were talking about this. He was saying that he thinks that they might be they might do a second world title over on Collision. I think it's just going to be Punk with his belt, claiming to be the uncrowned champion. You're going to have MJF. They're kind of putting some filler in between MJF's schedule right now, so they can build up to Punk versus MJF 2, where it will be decided who the champion really is.
3.
And well,
they had 2 matches already.
That's right. That's right. They did have 2 matches already. But it's going to build up to him versus MJF for the title. He's going to win, and they're going to give him his full legitimate run that they've been wanting to get him for a long time.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but they have to get to that point first, and I think that's why they're putting stuff in there. What's up?
My ugly sir.
I thought you did your ugly.
No, that was
okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No, there's something worse than that.
Yeah.
There is something worse than that besides interrupting. Io Shirai. Fuck this guy. Io Shirai. There was no reason Charlotte could not have taken a loss against Io. Io's the Money in the Bank winner. You should be building on that, pushing her as somebody who can win. And she gets fed to Charlotte, gets beat by Charlotte. That should not have happened.
Yeah. And what did we say was going to happen? What did I say was going to happen? Io's going to beat Asuka. She's going to take the belt, and then Charlotte's going to beat Io. They're just building her up to feed to Charlotte in the future, because we all know that what they're going to do. They want Charlotte to beat Rick's record, and so she's got to win. She's got to what? She's got to win it and lose it twice. She's got to win it 3 times. So she's got to win it, lose it, win it, lose it, win it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're building to. So, and they're not going to take it off of Rhea, because she's the most over person in the women's division. So, and they're just building it up for, and actually it may end up being a 3-way between her, Io, Asuka, and Charlotte, and Charlotte's going to win that belt. Everybody's going to be sacrificed to Charlotte. Okay, and here's the thing: it's not. This is not coming down on Charlotte. This is coming down on WWE's perception of what to do going forward with the women's division. This is all Vince, because Charlotte's his girl.
Yep.
So it's not her decision. It's their decision, but it's a stupid decision, because you're sacrificing everybody else for a person who's only going to be there for like another year or 2, and then they're gone.
Yeah, I mean, you're not having Damian Priest losing matches.
Nope. He's
winning matches, has a briefcase to build him up to be a legitimate threat for whoever title he goes after, and you do that to Io Shirai. You should be building her up to be a legitimate threat to whichever title she goes after.
Yep. But that's the thing. It's so obvious that what their plan is going forward with them. And other than a few moments here and there, we've been spot on with what exactly has been going on with the women's division. So I'm sure, I'm sure Vince has had a lot of girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a few illegal paralegals, excuse me.
But actually, dude, I actually thought that was cool when Christian said that. That's such a heel thing to say. So, what kind of guy cares about?
That was the point.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I thought was so awesome about that point. I was like, dude, Christian is a friggin' gift, man. That dude is so freaking awesome on the mic.
Hey, what you got any GBU there, Johnny?
Nah, we can move on.
What do you think about our new FTW champion?
Oh, brother.
What do you think about his music? His music
sucks.
Oh, that whole thing with the show and burying the Jungle Boy. That I just wanted to skip forward.
It's, you know what? I like Jack's evolution. I think obviously they gotta figure out exactly where they want to go with him. I think the music sucks. I like his look,
Would you
coming
put
out
him
with
with
more.
Would you put him with Don Callis's new faction?
I would not. I would. Yeah. He needs somebody to talk for him. He 100% needs somebody that can talk for him. I'm like worried they're going to put him with like Stokely's group. And that's the thing. I like Stokely as a mouthpiece and whatnot, but that group is death. What's it? I don't even remember I don't even know what their name is now.
Ogo Embassy.
Mogul Embassy. I think so.
Yep.
But dude, that's freaking death. That's why it's like when they had Strickland hook up with him, I was like, oh God. But that's basically where people go to put their career in neutral. But he definitely needs a mouthpiece, and I think hooking him up with Callis. So Callis has got this stable. He's got Takeshita. He'd have Jack. Probably going to end up having Jericho, which I don't know what the plan is for that. I'd rather see Callis get like a crop of young. Ricky Starks would be good to go into that group. So you got three.
Ricky can handle himself pretty good.
True, but I'm worried. I like Bullet Club Gold. I don't want them to grow to the point like Bullet Club was in New Japan.
Ricky gonna be by himself.
I don't know. I get a weird feeling they're trying to position him for BGS from BCG. I'm sorry, but anyway, yep, that's our good, bad, and ugly. So without bearing the lead, Roosh re-signed with AEW. I have not been able to find anything about how long he signed with. I imagine it's probably like a standard contract, which is like 3 to 4 years. This is probably the best thing that he could possibly have done. Because I know that WWE were really interested in him. I know that Triple H was really interested in him. Vince probably was like, okay, we could go ahead and grab another guy, but he would probably end up being a mid-carder at best. But him signing with AEW, I think you keep him with Andrade. They were great together. Andrade's they're obviously building up some to Andrade taking on House of Black. He needs team members. Roosh definitely needs to be a part of that. And when he's with Andrade is when he was at his best.
Did you put Vikingo with those guys?
No. I would put Dragon Lee with him, but that's obviously not a choice. What's his name? Drilistico, I think, was the guy who's been tagging with him in and out every once in a while. He probably wouldn't be bad.
Do we have a heavyweight to put on that?
Do we have a heavyweight? Well, Roosh is a pretty big dude.
No, I'm talking because I don't think Vikingo would be a good fit.
No, yeah, and he doesn't fit with the whole Los Ingobernables. I know it's not called Los Ingobernables, but that's what it originally started with.
La Facción
Ingobernables, yeah. He doesn't fit with the whole idea thing. So, I think Callis will grab members of JSA and leave Jericho on the curve. Leave Jericho retires. Yeah, and honestly, I think Jericho's getting to that point where he's starting to look at what his final run's going to be. And dude, if that was me, that's 100% what I would do. I would have Callis come in and just steal everybody from the JAS, and then have everybody turn on. Actually, now that I think about it, that might be what they're doing.
Can you blame anyone from the JAS for leaving?
Well, no, obviously not. But that's the thing. Like, they may be building that up to, have that be the thing where it's like, oh, I wasn't really interested in you. I wanted all your guys. I wanted to show them that you're not going to protect them, everything, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Callis would be much better choice to be in charge of that whole thing.
What do you think about Pockets being doing some backstage stuff?
Oh, brother.
Dude, here's the thing though, man. Like say what you want about the guy. He's very creative. And like we said, man, he surprises people in his matches. That like the first Forbidden Door, his match with Ospreay was fantastic. So it's true. And here's the thing about Jericho. Jericho has been blessed. Like that dude's career has been blessed. He has not had a major injury his entire career. And I'm talking like a torn quad injury or like a separated, like a really bad separated. He has never had a super bad injury.
ACL, something like that.
ACL tears and stuff like that. He hasn't had stuff like that. He's been very, very blessed. And he's actually said this before, that he has not had like a major career threatening injury in his entire career. So he could be one of those dudes that continues to go for a long time. But especially in the last few months, especially the last year, we've seen that he is significantly diminished in the ring. Now, can he still go? Can he still go pretty well? Yeah, sure. Yeah, he can. He just isn't on the level that he used to be. And I'm of the mind that if you can't be at least close to what you're used to, it might be time to hang it up. Yeah, I think that was like the worst injury he ever had. He had a broken arm when he was in Smoky Mountain. Which compared to think about some of the injuries we've seen people come back from, the neck injuries, torn quads, separated like a stage 3 separated shoulder that could end your freaking career right there.
So he should take it slowly.
He should.
Quit where you're ahead.
Yeah. And if you look at the way he's been wrestling, and he has been wrestling fairly sparingly in comparison.
Yeah. Yes.
What you're he was talking to somebody else. But
I'm yelling at the dogs. Go on.
But I don't like seeing like my favorite wrestlers and my heroes from professional wrestling doing things they don't need to do. And to be honest, this dude's career, like he's so good at talking, man. He put him on the friggin' announce desk, man. He'll be friggin' gold. And I understand that he wants to perform in the ring and everything like that, but he's just not able to do it like he used to. He's held up really, really well. I think he's going to be what, 53, 52, 53 this year.
Something
start. You got to, you also got to start thinking about your quality of life later. You know what I mean?
If you didn't have an injury when you were younger, you don't want them now.
Yeah, Big Daddy said the injuries are incredible in this business, always have been, and that's why I can't understand the high risk spots. Yeah, and I think
I'm with you, man.
I think, and here's the thing: I like those high risk spots, but I like them in moderation, because I think if they're limited to like pay-per-views and special events and things like that, they feel bigger. You know what I mean? And you're taking less risk. I understand wanting to excite people. Guys like we were talking about, like Vikingo, that's his thing, man. Guys like Ray Phoenix, that's their thing. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, etc. But you are going to shorten your career, because eventually your body's not going to be able to absorb that stuff. And that's when these guys get into their 30s and into their mid 30s and forward, that's when these injuries start to mount.
FTR and Bullet Club Go just showed us that this is not necessary. You can have a good match
dude.
without trying to kill yourself.
FTR, best tag team in the world. Best tag, and in my opinion, top 5 tag team of all time.
I'm not going to argue with you.
No flips, just fists, man. And it's, that's how you do things. But I said, I was only a manager who took bumps as well, and I've had 5 concussions, 3 shoulder surgeries, back surgery, multiple tears.
Oh, damn.
That's what I'm telling. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, listen, go. Like I said, I've always said this, man. Go listen to Big Daddy talk about his stories in the business. Go learn at the learning tree. This stuff, is it exciting when we see it? Yes. Do we go, holy shit. Look at the guys who do this stuff later in life. They can barely freaking walk, man.
How many back surgeries has Hogan had?
Oh, dude, Hogan is so lucky that medical technology has caught up to a lot of the injuries and stuff that's happening in wrestling, because for what was it, like a good 3 or 4 year period, dude was walking around with canes. Like his back was he was so jacked up. He could barely freaking walk. And now I guess now he's a lot better because the most recent back surgery he did was uses some new techniques and everything. And he's talking about doing the flare thing, and I'm like, dude, no. This thing,
Actually, because people dislike him even more than Rick.
well, the thing is even with with Rick's checkered past, people really love him in it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that still love Hogan, man. I'm not going to take anything away from Hogan. Everybody does dumb shit in their life.
Yeah, but you saw the reaction he got at WrestleMania.
I don't want to see my heroes paralyzed or die. That's the reason why every time Sting does one of those friggin' spots, I'm watching it with like one eye closed, like, oh God, dude. I understand going out on your own terms and everything, but man, even Sting, like he's gonna be, 75, close to 80 years old, and that dude's gonna be in a freaking wheelchair.
Even when it's the young guys doing this stuff, I'm not thinking is he gonna win with this. I'm just thinking is he gonna survive himself?
Yeah. Well, then that's the thing too. Right now, they're young, their bodies are strong, and they can absorb stuff like this. But as time goes on, those injuries are going to matter. Like the stuff that they feel fine from right now, it's going to affect them later.
Like, even Rick, he already had one broken neck.
Oh yeah, dude. Rick should have died in that plane crash.
No, I'm talking about Ricky Starks.
Oh, Ricky Starks. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, dude. He almost had internal decapitation. It's like, and again, and that's another thing. That's what worries me with Moxley. Yeah, actually, Big Daddy, I know that a lot of guys who have had back surgeries and whatnot, because of the compression on their spine and everything, they actually get shorter. Like that's actually happened to Hogan. I think Hogan was he was what 6'6". He was 6'6", 6'7", and now they say he's like 6'4". So the dude's like 3 inches shorter than he used to be. So this stuff is no joke, man. And it's like I said, it's thrilling when we see it. And I think that it does have a place in wrestling, but I do think that they got to start thinking. A lot of these guys got to start thinking about their lives later. And that's actually and a good person to talk about that. But a good person to talk about that. Yeah, suddenly I turned into Mike Tyson. I don't know what happened.
You're sucking on helium again.
Yeah, I don't know. He's freaking ludicrous. Anyway,
50 Road, baby.
He talked about how, like, when he was young, if you've ever seen Mark Callis, aka The Undertaker, when he was young, dude, he was doing over the top. Big Daddy's laughing. I don't know what happened, dude. I was talking and like, but he was talking how, like, when he was younger, like, you can see he would do over the top ropes, dives and like, they didn't call it back then, but the tope suicidas and stuff like that. He was doing that stuff at his height, his size. And when he got to WWE, they were like, yeah, dude, don't do that. Yeah, it's like, don't do that, man. It's like, it's unnecessary. And then he got there, and he would still, like, every once in a blue moon, he would break one of those out. You know what I mean? And when he did, the freaking crowd would go crazy. So, and then look what happened. The dude was freaking in the ring. He had like a 30-year career. So learning how to, and that, like, guys like, and some of these guys, all these new guys, like as I said, like Vikingo and Samia, they need to talk to Will Ospreay. Because when Will Ospreay first was in the business, up until about 3 years ago, that's what he did, man. Like, when a match with Will Ospreay was like a full, like high octane, moving 1,000 miles an hour, doing just absolutely crazy stuff. And he was able to do that stuff because he's ridiculously talented athlete. But he took a lot. He had an injury, and then during COVID, he took a long look at his career, and he was like, "Hey, okay, if I take my foot off the gas a little bit, and I start working on my character work and my ring psychology and whatnot, I can still do a lot of the stuff that I do, but I can do it safer and I can do it better if I just slow it down a little bit." And if you look at his matches today, all his matches when he was younger were great. You look at his matches today, they're even better because he became a better storyteller. He became a better talker. he became a better wrestler. He figured it out. They need to talk to him because I'm going to tell you right now, Will Ospreay made sure that his career is going to last way longer now than it was when he was going 1,000 miles an hour. So you can, like I said, you can do this stuff, and I think it has a place in wrestling. But I think if you do it, you just take it down a notch or two. Some of these guys could take it down 2 or 3 notches, like guys like Ray Phoenix or whatnot. They could take these down a couple notches, and they'd be perfectly fine. You're gonna have a much better. You're gonna have a longer career. You're gonna have fewer injuries.
Dante Martin, I'm looking at you,
dude. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Someone needs to talk to those boys. Because I'm gonna tell you what, when one's hurt, the other one's okay, and then when they come back, and as soon as they come back, they start trying to go 1,000 miles an hour, and one of them gets hurt again.
I'm still can't get over that spot, man. He broke his leg. That was so stupid.
Oh my god!
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
You mentioned their names a few minutes ago, and they lost their tag team titles to Aussie Open.
Yep. Which was a good match. By the way, Death Before Dishonor was a pretty good show, man. But like I said, don't sleep on ROH.
The Lucha Brothers did some heelish stuff. Death Before Dishonor. They've
always been kind of tweeners at times. You know, like when they were with Pac, like Ray's the good guy. Of like when they had the whole death triangle thing, Ray's the good guy. He's the guy that doesn't like to cheat. He doesn't like to, he's the straight guy. Penta's kind of the tweener. You know what I mean? Sometimes he works heel, sometimes he works face. And that's why people like him so much, and that's why I think it works with him. Pac's a freaking heel.
Well,
so 1,000%.
You got the Luchas versus Best Friends versus Moxley and Claudio tomorrow night.
Yep. So was it what was it? So there were some really good matches. But I wouldn't sleep on Ring of Honor, but what was it? I can't remember what we were talking about.
Nice.
My brain just went.
Talking about Ring of Honor. That's before the sign. We're talking about Lucha Brothers first.
Yeah. What was the? I can't trying to see. Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. What were the results?
Big Daddy, have fun, man. This weekend I'll be appearing at FanFest 8 in Rhode Island with Kane, Ultimo Dragon, Nia Jax, Haku, Devon Dudley, Rhino, Ahmed Johnson, Dr. Death, Mr. Hughes, Victoria, Candice Michelle, and others. Nice.
You mean it's Dr.
Dr. Death.
Dwight Schultz. Yeah.
Mr. Hughes. Oh man.
Mr. Hughes. But Gravity forgot who he's wrestling on Dynamite. Yeah, dude, I saw that. So you know how in NXT when Pac's name was Neville, they called him the man that Gravity forgot. And, this week he wrestled a dude named Gravity.
That's so stupid. Dude, I love it.
It's so damn funny, dude. It was so damn funny. It's like Pac wrestles the guy that forgot him. So
I haven't heard of this guy before. Let's see how he goes.
Yeah, and Mal, and just to touch on that one last time, like, yeah, and that's the thing. These guys are young, they think that they're, they think they're invincible. When we were when we were young, we were the same way. So.
I remember when Jim Ross tried to tell them, and they just started making fun of him.
Yeah, they called him that in PWG as well. Oh, did they? I can't remember that. But yeah, real quick to go over Death Before Dishonor. Gravity actually beat Commander. Samoa Joe defeated Dalton Castle. I really want someone to take that, either him to vacate it or take that television title off of Joe, because Joe needs to be in the world title scene, man. Especially since Mark Briscoe's injured, I would have Joe take the belt. I would have him become the champion. Aussie Open beat Lucha Brothers, the Kingdom, Best Friends, and to be the new ROH champions. I love Aussie Open. I think they're a great team. I think that was a good idea. Mogul Embassy defeated Leon Ruff and 6 or 9. Master Wado and Taguchi, which that was really interesting. Seeing a bunch of seeing some New Japan guys over there. To be, I think the ROH 6-man tag team needs to challenge the AEW 6-man tag, and they need to combine it so that there's only one, and then just have them go back and forth. I don't see a reason to have 2 6-man tag team, 2 6-man tag team belts. It's unnecessary.
Because a lot of the people that are in Ring of Honor are not going to be featured on AEW, so let them have something. Like it was a problem to me. It was a problem when Ring of Honor was like invading AEW shows every week. That was something else, but now it's not that much of an issue.
There's too many belts, man. There's too many belts, and when you've got duplicates like that for something that's so niche as a 6-man, it's unnecessary to me. To me, it's just unnecessary.
But for the people that are not watching Ring of Honor, we don't even see it.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't.
So it's yeah, and I agree. Leg kick, House of Black, Death Triangle, and La Faction and Gobernalis would be great. Let Brian Cage. Brian Cage needs to be in at least the mid card scene, man. Brian Cage should have been the TNT champion at some point. He really did. They really like that's again. Tony doesn't know how to book big men.
Man,
Brian Cage,
yeah, Brian Cage he was with Big Bill, right? That was the last thing he did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like how do you waste a guy like Brian Cage? He might be the best body guy in the business. You know?
And
you guys be watching Dark Side tonight with Ben. Yeah, actually, I've kind of avoided Dark Side of the Ring this latest season, but I really am interested in that Bam Bam one.
And Wardlow just vanished, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I'm glad Hobbs is over on Collision, because they have booked big men a little bit better on Collision since Collision started. Although I will say this week, Collision this show was kind of weak. This week was the first show of Collision show where I was just kind of like, okay, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. But
this week was just a setup for other things.
Yeah. And I understand that.
Yeah, I'll probably watch Dark Side later. I got a DVR, so I'll watch it another day.
Yeah.
I thought they could have done a better job with the last one with Adrian Adonis.
I haven't seen it. I've been, like I said, I'm kind of binge it at one point, but I might actually break that to watch the Bam Bam one, because I loved Bam Bam Bigelow when he was around. That was one of my favorite dudes back in the day. Oh, dude, don't even get me started on what they did with Lance Archer. They wasted the hell out of him. But like I said, man, that's one of the, like, we love AEW, we love wrestling period here at the council, but and we love AEW, and I think, and I've said this a lot of times, I think Tony hits more than he misses, but when it comes to big guys, it's like he trips all over himself. He doesn't know how to do it. So, and I don't know if that's just because every promoter has their favorites, but I just don't think he knows how to promote big guys in a way that his smaller guy, his regular size guys, his smaller guys can be competitive against them. So that's another dude, man. Like, if they were smart, they would put him with, dude, why the hell here? Okay. Think about this. Remember back in the day, you had the skyscrapers. Okay. You had teams like the Steiner Brothers, the Skyscrapers, Doom, these giant these teams with these guys that are just mastodons, the Powers of Pain, the LOD. You can have them go up against, like, some of the best matches the LOD ever had were against teams like the Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express, things like that. Teams that were a lot smaller than they were. You can have smaller teams against bigger guys and have them be competitive. You can do that. It's possible, but for some reason, Tony just seems to suck at it. Yeah, and to be fair, Tony was a big New Japan guy, and there's not a lot of big guys in New Japan. But when New Japan does have a big guy in it, that dude is a freaking monster. So I don't know. It just seems like either he doesn't care to figure it out, or he just can't. So it's something. But like I said, over on Collision, things have been a little bit better. So like I'm hoping that Ricky Starks, I mean, not Ricky Starks, but
Hobbs.
Hobbs. I'm hoping that they do him justice over there, because they have booked him really strong. And even when he's lost because of something. That's the way it's supposed to be. The smaller guy figures out a way. You know,
they're saving Big Bill for his match with Captain Insano.
Oh, jeez, God, dude. Again, sometimes you got to protect wrestlers from themselves. I love Paul White, dude. You don't need to bring that freaking character in. That character was the whole reason that character was funny in Waterboy is because it was a joke. So, but
what do you think about this? That they're possibly bringing the Eater of Worlds back, either at or right after SummerSlam.
They're never gonna. I'm gonna say this right now. I agree 100% with Undertaker, with Mark Callis. If they bring Bray Wyatt back, they need to bring him back as his original character. That's when he was at his best. That's when all the new stuff. He's a very, very creative guy, but not every friggin' idea is a gold nugget. And the last
This is not analog horror though.
Yeah, the stuff.
It's wrestling.
It's old school stuff like they did with Undertaker and Kane back in the 80s and the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. That shit doesn't work anymore. Okay, it's goofy, and some people may think it's fun, but most people look at it and it's like they just walk away. When he was like a cult leader, that was something more relatable. That was something that people could understand better. Yeah, the Funhouse.
They might put him with his family versus oh my God, MVP and his new faction.
Just bring back the Hurt Business. It's
MVP and Street Profits.
Somebody needs to sack up, walk into Vince's office, smack him in the face, and say, "Dude, stop breaking all the shit that works." What's up, Red Dress Press? Appreciate you being here, man.
Hey, Chris.
The demon tempered Wyatt's personality too. Without the mask and his talking mode, and his talking made him a draw. Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. Honestly, at this point, I don't know that he's. I don't know that he's rehabable to the point to bring him back to where he used to be. I don't know that it's possible.
And it's not just a him issue. Like everyone that works with him ends up getting shit on him.
Yeah, it doesn't. Working with him doesn't elevate anybody, because it doesn't really elevate him. He starts high because people really like Bray Wyatt. They really like him as a wrestler. They like him as a character. But he starts high and then just goes off a cliff. You know,
they shit on him when they took the title off of him and put it on Goldberg.
They did.
Yeah,
they really did.
That happens to everybody that they do that to.
Yeah, but that was dumb.
So dumb.
Which is why then that whole thing is why, and they're doing it again with LA Knight. Dude's over, whether you think he's a Rock knockoff, whether you think he's a Stone Cold knockoff or whatever, he's over as hell right now. Super freaking over. And they are hamstringing him because Vince wasn't convinced. He turned him into Maxie Dupree, for God's sake.
We keep hearing we're gonna push him after this, after that, and it just goes on and on and on. SummerSlam and Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, and nothing happens.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get it.
It's Vince is so mercurial with how he wants to push the people and how he does things. I think, and that's the thing too, is, and we've said it before and we say it, and I'll say it again. Vince doesn't like when other people get themselves over. He hates it. He wants to be responsible. He wants everything to belong to WWE. And that's just the way it works. So when people get themselves over naturally, he'll try to bury them. Look what happened with Bryan Danielson. You know how long it took for him to get sold on Bryan Danielson? It took
Zack
almost a
Ryder.
decade. It's ridiculous.
Zack Ryder.
Yep. Zack Ryder, freaking the New Day, Becky Lynch.
Miro with Rusev Day.
Yep. Miro with Rusev. And every time that happens, he figures out a way to bury it and break it. Just like the dance off with MJF and Baby, entertaining, sure, but it was garbage. Yeah, and it in the long run, it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Hicksville, and I agree, he should beat Theory, and that's a problem I have with the E right now too. Is when's the last pay-per-view Austin Theory's been on? Because it just said he's not going to have his title on the line at SummerSlam because the card's full.
Dude, that guy Theory had a lot of potential when Triple H was in charge of everything. Ever since then, it's just been downhill.
But
they need to take that belt off.
When's the last time his title was on the line at the pay-per-view?
Dude, I don't remember the last time. I don't remember the last time he wrestled. I think it was like last week, maybe. But they weren't prepared for LA Knight's sudden popularity. Here's the thing, though. He was freaking popular as hell in NXT. Then he came up to the main. Yeah, he's over like crazy in NXT. Everybody's like he's awesome in NXT. They bring up the main roster. Yeah, well, we're gonna turn you into a manager. We're gonna turn you into a manager because you're too old. You're too old. You're 41 years old. You're too old to be in the ring. He's 2 years older than Roman Reigns.
The other thing, you can say they were not ready like a couple months ago. Now they have ample time to figure this out.
It's bullshit. And what they do. They had him lose. And look, I love Rey Mysterio. Okay, I always will. He had no business winning that friggin' that match this week when you got LA Knight there ready to go. He's ready to go. He's put the friggin' U.S. title on him and let him elevate that thing. But that I get the story. Okay, it's Ray versus what's his name from the LWO. And it's student versus teacher. Okay, I get it, but you can't hamstring one of your most popular guys, the guy that everybody wants to see. Dude, they're freaking chanting his shit in AEW. It's a no-brainer. Put the friggin' belt on him. Man, you got to go with the hot hand, and ride that thing for as long as you can. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't do politics well. Dude, you know what? It's funny. They only started saying that, oh, well, he's got backstage cheating. They only started saying that when he got super popular, and then he didn't win the Money in the Bank. He lost the Ray, and then all of a sudden, just like you remember when they did this with Bray Wyatt, when there was a potential that Bray was going to leave, and that he was going to actually when they fired him, and then we're talking that he might go to AEW, and they were like, oh well, he's bad, he's got heat in the back, people don't like him, he's difficult to work with, blah blah blah. Remember when they did that character assassination bullshit with him?
Yep,
it's the same thing, because right after they did this, according to other reports that I read, other wrestlers in the back were saying like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like it's like whenever I see this tells me that this is a person who pushes back against the creative that they want to push onto them. This is a person
we can
who's
see
like,
why.
Yeah, and it's like, and this is a person who's like, yeah, dude, I don't know if that's gonna work, man. And like, anytime somebody questions the mighty brain Vince or his mighty brain trust, they suddenly become difficult to work with. So I saw that, and immediately my brain went to every time that they said the same thing about Claudio when he jumped to AEW. There were reports that some of the stuff was happening with Joe. The biggest one was Bray Wyatt, and every time I hear that now, I'm like, okay, you guys are just full shit. So, but yeah, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Well, I do understand it. It's Vince doesn't like it when people get over on their own. And Vince is also likes to teach people a lesson. So if he is questioning them as far as their creative, then that might be why he ended up losing. I'm just waiting on the big raw draft pick from NXT Odyssey Jones, dude. It's what's his name? What was the big wrestler? The guy that they were saying was going to be the next Brock Lesnar. Not the kid that went to AEW and basically shit the bed. I can't remember his name, but he actually got drafted to SmackDown from NXT. Dude hasn't even wrestled a match yet. He's been in the developmentals. He's been at the training center for like 2 years now.
You got to talk about Gabe Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson, yeah. They've been talking about that dude left and right.
That one is a whole can of worms that I don't want to get into.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like they're high on guys like that, but then you got a guy like, and again, the reason is because he wasn't developed there. Vince didn't have a hand in creating him. Look what happened. Look what happened when he bought WCW and all the how long it took for some of those guys to actually find real success in WWE. Because Vince made it a point to friggin' step on them.
Look at Sting.
Yeah, dude. Look at Booker T. How long did it take for Booker T to get any kind of traction in WWE? And when he did, it was because of a joke character. It was King Booker. Like that's a dude who took chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad. But for the longest time, the WCW guys were looked down on by Vince and his brain trust. So he was making his big decision tonight in NXT. What's he deciding? Who knows? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And it's frustrating because, again, like it sounds like we're shitting on WWE, and we are a little bit. But we do it because we've loved it so much in the past, and we've seen all the potential that's there. Dude, even today, from a roster standpoint, they have so much friggin' potential in that friggin' company. Ridiculous levels of potential. And then you look at but then they do the booking is just so freaking scatterbrained. Sometimes it's brilliant, but oftentimes it's just like, how did you miss that? How do you screw that up?
What happened to the modern day Maharaja and his team, Veer Mahan and the other dude?
You mean the people
He's still coming. He's still coming.
Yeah.
Have they wrestled?
They've wrestled a couple times. Nobody gives a shit.
Recently, because I haven't.
They wrestled like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, okay. I must have missed it then.
No. Yeah, you know why? Because nobody cared.
Don't feel bad. We're on the same boat.
Yeah. Because they were like, oh, yeah, they're going to plow through everybody. Beating jobbers left and right. Yeah, okay.
And look what and then also what they did. Yeah, well, yeah. No, with Vince, I don't think that's what it is. I just think Vince is stuck in the 90s and he just can't get out of his own way.
What do you think about your new North American champion?
One of the few things that I actually think works, because what's his name that he just beat? He's ready to go to the main roster. Danielson was injured against Okada. Yeah, he broke his arm. He actually had 10 minutes left in the match, and he broke it, and he actually finished it. So he broke his arm. Originally, they thought it was fractured. It ended up being worse than they thought. He had to have surgery to basically they put a plate in it to pull the two pieces of bone together. From what I understand, though, he's actually his recovery is actually going faster than they thought. He's still going to be out for like another 3 months at least. Because like I said, the break, like they thought originally that it broke, it was fractured, but it was like that. So they had to pull the two pieces together.
Yeah, but
too many roids to his brain. Yeah.
Dominic being North American champion, gives him opportunity, which is great.
Yeah. And here's the thing. NXT is where Dominic should be. I mean, don't get me wrong. As a character, he's crazy over. He's got nuclear heat because of what happened with his dad. Okay. He's great to have with Judgment Day from a character standpoint. In the ring, he still needs work. He needs to. He should have been in. He should have been at the developmental center this whole time. He should have been part of NXT this whole time. He can still be part of the faction. You still have him show up on shows and everything like that, but he should be doing the majority of his wrestling in NXT. That's where he belongs right now. So they need to, and so him moving over there, and again, like I said, from a character standpoint, the way he won it, he had to have Rhea Ripley help him. It's a great heel character. It's a great heel character, and they need to continue letting Rhea do most of the talking for him. Okay. And here's the thing. Rhea's the superstar in that group. Okay. Damian Priest is on the rise. Okay. And he's got great upside. Finn's kind of on the downside of his career. And Finn's in his 40s. Still a great performer. Love the dude. Rhea's the big star in that group. And she's really good at talking. She needs to continue talking for Dom. Dom needs to wrestle primarily in NXT, and he needs to, and that's where he belongs. And I want him to stay there. From what I understand, Judgment Day for at least the next month, they're going to be showing up in NXT a lot. Fine, that's great, and that's kind of title that you put on Dom. You put the mid card title in your developmental company, even though they said they're trying to turn it into a third brand, which, like, if you're trying to turn it into a legitimate third brand, why are you having your champion get defeated on national television? Don't understand that. But again, that's me. That's Vince. I like it. And like right now, and outside of the Judgment Day, outside of the Bloodline, Judgment Day is the biggest thing in WWE right now.
Oh, yeah.
So of course Vince is looking to break it up. Big Day said, just FYI, I'll be moderating over at JD and off the script in 30 minutes. It should be a banger. Tuesday night Titans. Yeah, I like JD. So yeah, go check that out when we're done here. And actually, we're about done here. I know we rambled a little bit today.
Yeah, before we leave, couple title matches. International title tomorrow. Orange Cassidy versus AR Fox. Who you got there, Johnny?
Oh, that's an easy one.
Yep.
The piece of fruit is getting it again.
Yeah.
Fox has got to keep the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hawkins is going to keep it. Yep.
And Saturday, FTR versus Adam Cole, Bebe, and MJF.
FTR retain. I think there's going to be some shenanigans and some schmoz. And I think if the breakup doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen there, I think it happens at All In. That's what I think. So they may, like I said, they may push this thing all the way to All In. At some point, friggin' Max is going to turn on them, though.
What do you think, Johnny? FTR retain?
If they don't, I'm buying a plane ticket. I'm fighting Tony Khan and I'm slapping him in the face.
No, I don't think they're going to sacrifice FTR to Better Than You, Bebe, just because they're popular right now. Because here's the thing, everybody, they're enjoying it, and it's good. It's good TV. It's good wrestling. This thing is not going to last. Everybody knows it's not going to last. You're not going to sacrifice FTR when they're at their hottest and their biggest, especially coming off of that match with Bulk of Gold. Come on. There's no damn way you're going to do that. And if he does, Tony needs to be smacked upside the head.
Yeah.
So
Johnny's going to fly out there and do it.
I'm volunteering to do it.
Yeah, Big Daddy agrees with me about Dom. Great character. Still very mediocre in the ring. Needs a lot of work. NXT is where he belongs. So, but all right, that's it for us, guys. Appreciate being here. Like Big Daddy said, go check him out, moderating over on JD from New York's channel. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.